Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I'll be still watching for some likely off and on rain potential and chances of thunderstorms in the state. 5-day precipitation graphic there, blues and purples, that's 1 to 2 plus inches of rain with locally higher amounts that are still going to be a possibility. We also have some risks of excessive rain. If you're in western and northern areas of the state, we are included a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain. That's for flash flood potential that exists today and tonight. Flood watches are out from some nearby Weather Service offices, include the Parkersburg, Huntington areas, among others. So a lot of these out until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so all day today until tomorrow morning. Flash flooding possible because of excessive rain. Never drive through any flooded areas if they pop up for you. 67 for a high yesterday in Charleston, 10 below average. Some rain is already likely on the radar this morning. We're going to see an area of low pressure push north with a warm front, so some increasing moisture here. And I'll be timing some chances and likely chances of rain for the next 7 days. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Orlando 91, Tampa heating up near the mid-90s again today. And western areas of Florida, potentially some heavy rain with daily thunderstorm chances out there. Northern areas from Panhandle to Panhandle, highs in the 60s. Rain likely, chance of thunderstorms, just have to wait until the moisture arrives. Rain chances tonight with that chance of thunderstorms. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms. Highs around 60, some 50s as well. Lows around the ranks of the mid to upper 40s. From east to west, 50s and 60s out east, more 70s out west with that risk of heavy to excessive rain today and tonight. Up to a slight risk of excessive rainfall exists, and southern areas watching for some heavy and excessive rain as well. Favoring western areas near 61 in Huntington tonight. Charleston, we have generally chances to likely chances of rain each day for the next 7 days. Some warmer temps on the way as well, 86 on Sunday and near 81 on Memorial Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
It's Friday edition of Metro News Talkline. We have a lot to cover this morning before we get to steam release at 11:33. Let's get things rolling.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome into the program. Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson in Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Metro News Command South in a bunker in an undisclosed location this morning. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255 is the phone number. The text line is 304-TALK-304. Gang's all here. Sophia Wasik handles the audio and the phones, and Zach Karolchek handles the video. We appreciate you listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, or watching in on the Metro News Television app, YouTube, and on Facebook Live as well. Say good morning to TJ Meadows. TJ, good morning.
Good morning. You make it sound like one of my commentaries got me in trouble and we had to hide me away somewhere.
Do you remember, I think was it Art Bell or George Norrie that started saying that on the Coast to Coast from a bunker somewhere deep below the earth? That's where I picture you today, somewhere deep below the surface of the earth in a bunker, tucked away.
I'm here. I'm happy to be here. So,
well, we're happy to have you. Holiday weekend coming up. Memorial Day weekend is ahead. Unfortunately, the weather Doesn't look like it's going to cooperate a lot with some cooler temperatures and rain, but we'll deal with that in just a little bit. Hey, coming up on the show this morning, Andrew Donaldson's going to stop by, political commentator. He weighs in on the current situation in the state Republican Party and who exactly is at the top of it. We'll talk to him bottom of the hour. Stirewalt stops by. And Jason Toy, friend of the program with the Motor Racing Network, will join us as well after the announcement yesterday of the stunning sudden death of NASCAR champion Kyle Busch, just 41 years old. We'll talk to Jason a little bit later on in the hour. Earlier this week, Governor Morrisey held a news conference at the state capitol. He announced the results of the audits of a couple of the state's largest departments, and the audits identified potentially, underlined, italicized, and bolded, potentially $168 million in possible savings. We've been talking about that this week. We now bring into the conversation to give her thoughts this morning, Kelly Allen with the Center on Budget and Policy here in West Virginia. Kelly, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know numbers much better than me. When you take a look at these audit reports and what the governor announced on, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday of this week, what do you make of the results and the conclusions?
Well, all government agencies should seek to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars, and thoughtful audits and reviews of government programs are great, so long as they're identifying duplicative, inefficient, or unnecessary spending and aren't just taking away public services from residents, as seems to be the case with possible TANF cuts, which we'll put a pin in. And ideally, we can turn around and reinvest those dollars in places that have been underfunded and produce better outcomes for West Virginians. I will say a few things he said resonated with me. He talked about canceling consultant contracts when in-house expertise creates better outcomes and savings. But a couple of things, costs are about to significantly increase, particularly in the Department of Human Services, as federal changes to Medicaid and SNAP as a result of HR 1 roll in. We've got staff that has to do more frequent redeterminations, more paperwork for enrollees to submit, a phase down of the provider tax, possible SNAP benefit cost share. And I do think if this were strictly about inefficiencies rather than an ideological review, maybe they just haven't gotten to the treasurer's office yet, but I'm curious why we aren't taking up independent recommendations regarding the Hope Scholarship, where the Rand Corporation found explicitly that it was an inefficient use of taxpayer dollars to subsidize people already in private school through the Hope Scholarship expansion. And then finally, I'll say there's no evidence that TANF was audited. It seems like the cuts proposed there or the deficit announcement kind of was added into the press conference, but I don't think any TANF was referenced at all in the DOHS audit.
Kelly, how concerned are you that this is fully baked? And what I mean by that, it seems to me we're going to have to put capital up front in order to generate some of these savings. And those capital investments, at least as far as I could tell, were missing from the detail in the audit reports in terms of what would be put in. So how confident are you in that $168 million as a net number and the realization that it could happen?
Well, I think the headline was up to 168 million, so up to maybe doing a lot of work there. But yeah, to your point, I mean, I think there are moral and important reasons to reduce the number of children housed out of state, but I don't think that's the cost savings is really the top argument there. Of course, we have to provide those services in state, and there will certainly be an upfront cost there. So yeah, I think it only is really showing one side of the equation right now.
Kelly Allen is joining us from the Center on Budget and Policy. A couple of things, Kelly. One, and maybe this has been lost because TJ and I don't mean to speak for TJ, we were underwhelmed with the announcement. So maybe this gets lost in that sentiment, but good on the governor for actually following through on, we get a lot of, people saying we're going to get to the waste, fraud, and abuse, but do we ever really get to it? They did an audit. They identified some cost savings. That's a good thing. So if DOT can put $14 million or $15 million back into actually paving roads and fixing potholes, great. Those are all good things. No, that's number one. Number two, Kelly, TJ illustrated earlier this week in very fine fashion the percentage of what we're talking about in overall spending and all the money that's coming in. And I've kind of made the case, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Did the governor actually illustrate that most of these departments are the ones we're looking at here? A lot of them are running about as efficiently as we can make them, and there's not a lot of belt tightening or waste, fraud, and abuse to really go after here when it comes to shrinking the size of government, or at least shrinking the state budget?
I mean, I think that's a great point. After however many years we are into flat budgets, that has resulted in kind of shrinking budgets for agencies, or at least budgets that don't keep up with inflation. In DOHS in particular, we know the Medicaid officials have often talked about how their administrative cost share is lower than about any other state, which essentially means they're operating with less staff and less resources. So I think that's what we're seeing, over the last several years as we've shrunk the budget to accommodate tax cuts. We've already not just the low-hanging fruit, but we've probably found most of the efficiencies that are out there.
If we truly have a structural deficit in TANF, and I agree, we don't have the details there, I think, to fully understand that, at least not from what I read and what was available in the audit report. You talked about hope. What other avenues? I mean, how do we fix it? It's a money problem, obviously. What do we do?
Well, I mean, the problem to me is on the revenue side.
Yeah.
I think the issue with TANF, and we can get into what TANF does, but because it's a flexible block grant from the federal government, states have a lot of flexibility in how they can use it. And they don't have to spend their whole allocation in a year. They can run up a reserve and bank some of those dollars. And that's what we did for several years. So at one point in 2023, 2024, we had a reserve of over $120 million, which is more than an annual allocation. But we've been spending that down in recent years. So when the governor says deficit, that evokes a certain thought. But I think what he's actually saying is we've been spending down into that reserve, and eventually that's gonna run out. And why we've been spending down into that reserve is that we've been funding a lot of childcare subsidies with TANF dollars. I went to my favorite place to find receipts this morning, X, and found a thread I did in March 2025 saying like, hey, DOHS is saying that because the legislature hasn't allocated any money for childcare, they're going to dip into the TANF reserves to keep funding it. And it sounds like they're going to exhaust it if they need to. So I knew that in March 2025. I think it's unlikely that the governor didn't. And the point I made in that thread is that the budget staying flat is almost a myth. It's like we're kind of dipping into these one-time monies. We've got this TANF reserve, but it's going to run out at some point. And West Virginia is one of only 7 states that doesn't spend any state dollars on childcare beyond the minimum that we have to spend to pull down federal dollars. So we've been really relying on this TANF reserve, these one-time monies that are dwindling. And we're also really relying on, the dwindling surpluses to stick things in the back of the budget that are ongoing costs. We're funding HOPE with surplus. We're funding Medicaid with surplus. So it's a revenue issue. We keep kicking the problem out a year or two, but every time we do another tax cut or expand another program like the HOPE scholarship, the gap gets even wider of the coming deficit.
Talking to Kelly Allen, Center on Budget and Policy. A lot of us have thrown around TANF this week, the acronym for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. It doesn't come up a lot in conversation, or at least not recently in conversation, Kelly. So what exactly are TANF funds intended for?
Yeah, so I think when people think of TANF, they often think of the cash assistance program for very poor families with children. It's called West Virginia Works in West Virginia, and that is a part of it. But as I said, TANF is a block grant, of which a relatively small portion is used for cash assistance. The primary purpose in federal code of TANF is to support low-income families so that children can remain in their homes. It's really about prevention, child abuse prevention, and providing families with those concrete and economic supports that they need to avoid interactions with the foster care system. So states can use that flexibility, and they cover a whole lot of things. In West Virginia, we fund our family support centers, legal aid, child care assistance, which we've talked about, tax filing assistance, and then we also use some of it for foster care and adoption. And these are incredibly important programs. They, as I said, keep families together. As a result, they reduce CPS caseloads, and they make our communities safer. So hearing the governor talk about potential cuts to things like family support centers that are such important resources in our communities and actually do generate a cost savings, there's evidence that they have like a 5-to-1 return on investment because, when we can keep kids safely in their homes, of course, that's better for families and, better down the line than spending money on foster care and those sorts of things. So I think the governor said we had an 18-month runway at some point. I read that as that's how much we could continue current TANF spending at current levels before that reserve is exhausted. This is a lot of reading between the lines, but that to me says we have time for legislators to find alternative sources of revenue to continue these really, really important programs.
Let me be the optimist that we all know that I am. Let's say that $168 million actually comes to fruition. Where would you like to see it go?
Well, I mean, I think I just mentioned West Virginia is one of just 7
Sure.
states that doesn't spend anything on childcare subsidies beyond the very minimum that we have to. We talk a lot about the need for more resources for students with special needs in public schools. I mentioned some big holes coming potentially in the Medicaid and SNAP budgets as a result of federal changes. So I could spend that in about 12 seconds if you made me.
I don't think it would. It's a drop. You're right. It's a revenue problem. Now, you and I are probably going to disagree a bit on how we ought to fix that revenue problem, but it's a revenue problem, and that's the bottom line.
Agreed.
Look, you guys are agreeing going into a holiday weekend. We should probably just leave it there for today. Kelly Allen, Center on Budget and Policy. Always appreciate the input, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day to you as well. Coming up, we'll get some of your thoughts. 304 Talk 304. Andrew Donaldson will join us, political commentator. He weighs in on the state of the Republican Party here in West Virginia. We'll talk to him bottom of the hour. Just getting rolling. This is Talkline on Metro News. Back in a moment.
At WVU Medicine, our nationally recognized Heart and Vascular Institute is focused on keeping your heart strong. Our experts bring world-class care close to home, using the most advanced technology, because in medicine, the best heart is one that beats for life. And it takes the best in heart care to protect it. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, West Virginia's leader in heart care. For more information, visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Welcome back, class of 2011. Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it. Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number if you'd like to weigh in. Keep in mind, Steam Release is coming up at 11:33. It's your chance to vent, get it all off your chest before a holiday weekend. You don't want to go into a holiday weekend all hot and bothered. That's why we will provide Steam Release coming up 11:33. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, TJ, your commentary today was probably the best one I've heard from you yet. Good job. If you go over to WVMetroNews.com this morning, Mr. Meadows' commentary titled, Is Morality Missing in America? Well, TJ, you wrote the commentary. Is morality missing in America? Did you have an answer, or was it a rhetorical observation?
It's a rhetorical observation. I think it's one that all of us need to reflect on, and we may have different opinions. Obviously, we may have different opinions of what a moral framework will look like. But back in 1798, John Adams, who knew a thing or two about the founding of this country, the Constitution, the Declaration, all of these things, he was around, for those. He talked about the fact that our Constitution was wholly dependent on a moral and religious people. That was not just a warning. It was meant to be refreshing. It was meant to be inspiring, because at the time you had the French Revolution going on. And many people were fearful that the same kind of revolution could happen here in America because of political extremism, factionalism. Sound familiar, Dave? Some of those things that we talk about all the time. They were afraid the same thing could happen to the young country here in America. So what he was saying was the Constitution was designed for an American people that the founders believed had a deep ingrained sense of morality. And that is one of the things that makes the Constitution work. In and of itself, without a populace that does not have that morality, the Constitution is not sufficient. And Adams was actually arguing and saying that he believed that was there, so much so that that morality was present in the American people that it made the idea of a coercive power or a tyranny impractical, wasn't needed. Self-government would work, and therefore tyranny was almost not only impractical, but impossible. But only as long as that morality existed in America. And look, there are many issues. I talk about Donald Trump. He's not the first president. Look, Nixon, Clinton. I mean, it's both sides. The point I'm making here, in this era of absolute loyalty is a good thing. It's not a better thing than honor or what is right. And when you pick loyalty over what is right, absolute loyalty to the president, and just ask Thomas Massey, Bill Cassidy, John Cornyn, ask those guys how that's working out for them if they try to buck the system. We're at a point where that morality is questionable, I think. And when citizens set back, this was the other part of what Adams was saying, when citizens set back and they ignore it, and they act like they praise honesty and they praise the truth, but they ignore all of these things that are actually happening, they tolerate them, that's when the system could be at its breaking point. I'm not trying to make a declaration as much as I'm trying to just have people think about what Adams was saying and ask that question. And maybe in asking the question, we all do it a little better.
I think it's made a very good point there, TJ. And unfortunately, and I brought this up with Hop yesterday in our conversation about the ballroom and the weaponization fund, the slush fund, all that. Mm-hmm. Look, the system, and Stirewalt can go into this, maybe I'm totally off here. The system doesn't incentivize any of the stuff that you were talking about or that Adams was talking about. Right now, the system incentivizes going to the nth degree in the other direction, right? Mm-hmm. It's if you're playing a football game and you're going to be the team that we're going to follow all the rules and we're not going to commit any penalties, and the other team says, well, we're going to commit all the penalties, we're not going to follow any of the rules, are you going to And you're going to lose if you play by the rules. Are you going to lose, or are you going to go, well, these are the rules of the game we're going to play by? And that's what we've seen. And the people you're talking about that you need in office, the ones that are going to stand up for what is right, not necessarily what is loyal to either the party or the president or whomever, they look at this and that's when you throw your hands up and you go, I don't want to deal with it. I'm not going to run for I'm not going to run for House of Delegates, let alone Congress, TJ, if this is what I've got to go through to get to that position. And that's a problem.
Spot on. And we may be seeing it, right, in Donald Trump's approval ratings. I mean, lowest they've ever been, even among Republicans. They're still extraordinarily high among Republicans, but it's the lowest that it's ever been. So, the citizenry may be reacting and doing what they should. Maybe Adams has more faith than I do, and he knew something I didn't. Well, obviously, he knew a lot that I didn't, that I don't. But I just think it's something worth reflecting on, and we can all do better.
And TJ, we only got a couple of seconds here. It's my simplistic theory that I credit to Kyle Wiggs. People just want normal. They want normal, moral, normal, not crazy. And we keep we get crazy. We've been blessed and or cursed with crazy.
And unfortunately, as you said, it works. The negative ads work. Sure. And that's why they do it.
Andrew Donaldson, political commentator, going to join us coming up other side of the break. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I'll be still watching for some likely off and on rain potential and chances of thunderstorms in the state. 5-day precipitation graphic there, blues and purples. That's 1 to 2 plus inches of rain with locally higher amounts that are still going to be a possibility. We also have some risks of excessive rain. If you're in western and northern areas of the state, we are included a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain. That's for flash flood potential that exists today and tonight. Flood watches are out from some nearby Weather Service offices, include the Parkersburg, Huntington areas, among others. So a lot of these out until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so all day today until tomorrow morning. Flash flooding possible because of excessive rain. Never drive through any flooded areas if they pop up for you. 67 for a high yesterday in Charleston, 10 below average. Some rain is already likely on the radar this morning. We're going to see an area of low pressure push north with a warm front, so some increasing moisture here. And I'll be timing some chances and likely chances of rain for the next 7 days. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Orlando 91, Tampa heating up near the mid-90s again today. And western areas of Florida, potentially some heavy rain with daily thunderstorm chances out there. Northern areas from Panhandle to Panhandle, highs in the 60s. Rain likely, chance of thunderstorms, just have to wait until the moisture arrives. Rain chances tonight with that chance of thunderstorms. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms. Highs around 60, some 50s as well. Lows around the ranks of the mid to upper 40s. From east to west, 50s and 60s out east, more 70s out west with that risk of heavy to excessive rain today and tonight. Up to a slight risk of excessive rainfall exists, and southern areas watching for some heavy and excessive rain as well. Favoring western areas near 61 in Huntington tonight. Charleston, we have generally chances to likely chances of rain each day for the next 7 days. Some warmer temps on the way as well, 86 on Sunday and near 81 on Memorial Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
Some fireworks, some events, food trucks, vendors, and just get our local community together.
Outlaw Fest starts at 4 this afternoon, runs till 11 this evening. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. You can give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Steam release coming up 1 hour from now. You don't want to carry your Steam into the holiday weekend. So be prepared, be ready, and let it go as we go into a long holiday weekend for most of us. By the way, programming note, a show previously enjoyed coming up on Memorial Day here on Talkline. We will be taking a day to kind of chill. So I think we're going to go with the day after the election, our reactions to the primary election. So that's coming up on Monday, a show previously enjoyed. 304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Steam release an hour from now. Let's get a couple of texts in here while we have a moment. 304 Talk 304. Since we have an agreement on a revenue problem, can we find a common ground on how to fix that problem? I think that's possible. I think it's certainly possible in the legislature. I do think that's possible, TJ, to find some common ground because, look, one, economic growth, that's where we want to get to, where we're bringing in business, we're growing the tax base. You grow the tax base, you grow the revenue. A lot of these problems tend to fix themselves without a lot of government intervention. I also think, despite the results of the primary election and despite the assertions of political action committees and outside lobby groups, I think there's going to be some movement and there is going to be some push to rein in Hope Scholarship spending over the next couple of years. I could be very, very wrong on that, TJ, but that program continues to expand, and I mean, you're the numbers guy. The numbers are not going to support an unchecked program, state-level spending.
The problem with raising revenue with a tax cut, which I know many have also said, and I kind of joked with Kelly. I actually respect Kelly quite a bit. Let's be clear about that. I joke with her about wanting to raise taxes. One of the issues here is, Dave, we're losing people hand over fist. We know that. We know that only, a little less than half of the people work, whatever that number is these days in labor participation. So those that are actually staying, making the choice to stay, the struggle to stay, we've heard about that. Those that are actually working, not only is a tax cut taking more out of their pocket, but it's going to have to be a deeper tax cut. So those that are doing the right things, that are staying here, that are being productive, that are adding to the base, they end up getting hit so hard, unproportionally. And that's why you can't just raise taxes. You've got to get more people here. You're never going to cut your way to prosperity. I don't think anybody would argue that TANF is not a good use of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it needs reform. We can talk about how long people are on it, all those kinds of things, but it is temporary. We have honest to goodness needs that government has to provide, and we're going to have to figure this out or else it's going to get ugly, man. People think it's tough now. Wait till you really have to start cutting some of these things because you just cannot pay the bills. And we're heading in that direction if we don't start growing.
And I think there's time. Look, we're not to the point of a disaster declaration yet. But what you're signaling is you can see this coming down the road. And I think there are certainly many lawmakers in the legislature who see this coming down the road and want to take steps to avoid it. Growing the economy. Go the Team West Virginia initiative. The House was very focused on those types of initiatives last year. And I anticipate seeing more of that as we get into the 2027 session. 304 Talk 304. I think the line of the day yesterday from the Senate was, quote, stupid on stilts, LOL, says the texter. Yep, the federal legislators punted on fourth down there and just didn't deal with any of that stuff heading into the holiday recess. They're going to be out all next week. But Senator Capito addressed the media yesterday around 1 o'clock. That was just a couple of hours before the Senate made a decision to kind of get out of Dodge and not deal with ballroom funding, this weaponization fund, because it was, very contentious on that end. All right, I'm going to break the fourth wall here. I think we got Andrew in the waiting room in Zoom. Zach, if you can get him connected to us, we'll get our conversation going with Andrew here in just a second. But as I said, TJ, there in D.C., lawmakers could read the tea leaves. There was a lot of questions. A lot of lawmakers have already come out and said, heck no to this weaponization fund. Some are saying, well, hey, got a lot of questions here about exactly what's going on. There's the whole ballroom, and they punted on fourth down, and we'll be back and a week to try to hash some of this out.
Yeah, no funding for ICE until then. The DHS issue pushed it all off. No vote-a-rama last night. And, that has to send a serious, I think it sends a very serious message to the president. Plus, Cornyn's up on Tuesday, right? So we'll see what happens with that and how that would shift the waters politically. But look, man, people can justify this slush fund all they want. And I've seen it. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I do not buy it. The commander-in-chief, the chief executive of the United States, he runs ultimately the Justice Department. There's obviously not an arm's length transaction there because how involved has he been in the Justice Department in the past? Blanche is his former attorney. I mean, come on. And you book that kind of deal. I mean, who buys that? No one buys that. That's not a good faith deal. You can't go with that.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Andrew Donaldson has a commentary out today, the political commentator here in West Virginia. He says, I love the opening line, "We as a free people, self-governing, hold this truth to be self-evident, that if you have to tell folks you are in charge, you ain't." Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is Andrew Donaldson. Andrew, good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Privilege. This is bucket list stuff for West Virginia kid to get on Talkline. So thank you guys so very much. And of course, it's the one day where I'm actually here and nobody's here. So this is fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it would have worked out great otherwise. Andrew, you are referring to the state of the West Virginia Republican Party with that opening line. Who is exactly in charge? Governor Morrissey says he is in charge, but as you said, if you have to tell people you are the captain now, are you really the captain now, Andrew?
That's what we're having, a live action role play scenario here from the primaries. We have all that money coming in, deciding who's going to be in charge of things. And we all know the factions involved. We have, the more traditional power structures in the state of West Virginia. Governor Morrissey has a lot of the newer political groups that have pumped outside money in. Not that they haven't been here before, but just at a new level. We know that Senator Capito and the family and the dynasty of them, we know Jim Justice, even with all his troubles, still has quite a vast network and a lot of supporters. All those things go together, and then there's always more people that want to get in on the game as we go forward. So if you're going to be in charge, that's fine, and he has a claim to that, but there's other peoples with claims to that.
So traditionally, the governor is always the head of a state party, but that's traditionally. And I think, Andrew, that's in times when you don't have these kinds of factions and you don't have these kinds of battles. So what is the upside in Morrissey wanting to say this? Is he just talking to his base? Is it fundraising? Because I don't really see an upside in tossing this out. At the same time this is happening, a lot of emails this week from the Morrissey camp to his supporters about the election and their victory and all these kinds of things. What's the upside here?
I don't know. The governor came in with quite a bit of goodwill especially from the press and the political thing. Because remember, one of the knocks on Jim Justice was he was not very present in Charleston. Whatever else you thought, he just was not present. He wasn't involved. He kind of led the legislature from afar with dictates and things like that. So a lot of the media that maybe doesn't even personally like Governor Morrissey or his politics, they were encouraged because at least he's going to talk to us. He's going to be part of the process. I think there was a bit of a blown opportunity there, but I also understand the political part of this. This is the new style of politics, very Trumpian style of politics, where it says you just keep saying you're winning and keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep saying you're winning no matter what. The problem is, in a state like West Virginia, when you have a super majority where you have factions and you have well-entrenched factions like the Moore Capito family, like the Justices, like others, they're not just going to step aside. And the more you antagonize them as opposed to work with them, you're just making the rut to get up the hill a little bit deeper. It doesn't mean you're not going to get to the top of the hill, but you're making your life a lot harder than, in my opinion, you probably needed to make it.
Talking to Andrew Donaldson, political commentator here in West Virginia. He does all sorts of media appearances commenting on politics. So, Andrew, in part of your column there, you focus specifically on the Vernon Criss seat in the House of Delegates. I know he's finance chair, but that was one seat in the House of Delegates. Why did you think that was a noteworthy race in the grand scheme of this whole conversation?
Well, the story writes itself. You have an entrenched politician who has, correct me if I'm wrong here, TJ, 30-some years of public service when you aggregate it all together.
Yep.
Well-known guy, well-respected guy. You had a lot of the Democrats come out and go, look, we disagree with him on everything, but he worked with us. We're used to dealing with him in committees. He knows how to make the process work. And you have a newcomer, a very young man, 23 years old, in Charles Harsgood, and we'll see how he does with his career. That story writes itself. It's a classical story of the entrenched politician and the upstart does it. What changed it was all the money involved. And then when you look at the voter turnout there, where you have 1,800 people decide that election, decide a very important seat, that is a good little microcosm into the wider story of this primary and the wider story of what's going on in the state of West Virginia now with this faction fight. It just kind of encapsulates it pretty perfectly.
Politics makes for strange bedfellows. And given all the support that the governor gave Hartsock, I do not know the gentleman, never met him, look forward to meeting him and talking with him. How ironic would it be if he falls into the House, makes relationships there, pushes legislation, and all of a sudden, maybe he's not as entrenched in the Morrissey camp as the Morrissey camp may expect. I mean, it could happen.
It could remember, Robert C. Byrd was an upjump at one point. None of us were alive at the time because we're all of a certain age. But all these classical figures, at some point, they had to get in. By the way, one thing I really hated in the media, stop talking about him working at Walmart. I started out at Walmart. Thank you very much. That turned out really well for me in my career because I decided I could go do other things. And there's nothing wrong with working at Walmart. But when he gets to the House, it is incumbent on him because, look, the prerequisite of that job to get that support was to be the governor's yes man. So he's going to have to the governor didn't do him any favors. He's going to have to become his own man. I hope he does. For his constituency, I think he has the ability to do. I know he's tried to run for other things. We will see what he does. But the governor didn't do him any favors walking in. We'll have to see how it goes. You bring up a really important point. Once you get in there, though, now we're going to find out about your integrity, your character, and what really matters to you. And I look forward to seeing what the man does.
So, Andrew, let me ask you the $5 million question. Who is the head of the Republican Party in West Virginia? Is it the governor? If it's not the governor, who is it?
Yes.
Yes is the answer. Well done.
This is what we're going to get into because, again, normally the governor is the leader, but that's because you usually have a party that is also fighting the other party in a back and forth for control back and forth. We have a supermajority that is in nowhere near danger. And with due respect to our Democratic friends that are starting to make the infrastructure inroads they need to compete in every county and those sorts of things, they're probably a couple cycles away from competing at the state level. So we're going to have this supermajority for a while. This is what happens. So now, yes, a U.S. senator outranks a governor, and especially a senator that's the fourth most powerful on Capitol Hill and has the tradition and is making political moves behind the scenes to do things. That's a different dynamic than normal, where you just have a governor and the normal team red versus team blue stuff. This is going to have to get resolved, and it's going to get resolved over the next two elections. And I think we probably can understand to be big boys here. There's probably going to be a primary challenger, and then you're going to find out just how strong Governor Morrissey really is.
Let me put it this way. This is not the Republican Party that grew up in West Virginia. We have two Republican parties. Let's just call it. So maybe Morrissey is the leader of his faction. That's fine. We can go with that. But I mean, for many Republicans, this is not their party. And I think they're not as loud. There's more of them than we think, but that's Capito's party. I mean, she's one of the few left that started, right? Like the Donna Bowleys of the world that took on the world, the only senator in the state Senate, Tim Armstead, and everything he did for the party. I mean, it's Capito's. And if Morrissey wants to take it fully away from her, he's going to have to get the rest of the party to come over to his side. That's not going to happen. So for all intents and purposes, we have two Republican parties in West Virginia, probably will for some time.
But this is not new. Remember when Shelley Moore Capito stepped up to the Senate race, very powerful names that are on a lot of those fundraising emails and mailers, this thing, they went after her hard, and then other money came in and backed them off, and she won, and we see what happened since then. This is not new. And remember, we're old enough, and we grew up in the old party where it was deep blue West Virginia, and now it's deep red West Virginia. We're not the Democrats, and we're going to flip the state for the first time in 100 years and all that. We're a generation from that now. So what you're really seeing is, okay, we took it over, but now we're in power. What are we as a ruling party? And that's going to have a lot of give and take into it. And that's part of the natural workings of governing of we're the guys in charge now. What does that look like? That's the higher level of that. And then you have the Shelley Moore Capito, who was the face of that wave change in a lot of ways. now wanting to have the control of it, and Governor Morsi is more of the different style of money that's come in with the Trump era. We're going to see who's going to win this fight, and it's going to be fun to cover. And hopefully whoever wins remembers that they're governing West Virginia and helps the people out more than just the donors.
Andrew Donaldson, political commentator, good column this morning. And I read it this morning, Andrew. So good column this morning, buddy. Appreciate it. And I hope there's a few more items on that bucket list, and this wasn't the only one.
As long as you read it, I'm good. But yeah, being on Talkline Metro News for a Summersville kid, this is big doings. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Andrew Donaldson, political commentator. Up next, the NASCAR community, the sports community, was shocked yesterday at the death of Kyle Busch. We'll talk about it with Jason Toy, Motor Racing Network, in a moment.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
In West Virginia, community is everything. It's about showing up for each other. Vin Salengo and the team at Salengo Law don't just work here, they live here, proudly sponsoring local events and giving back to the neighborhoods they love. So when you're facing a serious injury, trust the local team that's always in your corner. They spent over 25 years fighting for West Virginia families. Salengo Law. Get results, not excuses. Visit us at salengolaw.com.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Bellevue Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The region's largest restoration firm, responding from 5 locations. When disaster strikes your home or business, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
The NASCAR world was shocked yesterday when it learned that two-time Cup Series champion Kyle Busch had died at the age of 41 after being taken to the hospital with a severe illness. Jason Toy is a West Virginia native. He works for the Motor Racing Network, has covered Kyle's entire career. He joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. Jason, good morning. Absolutely floored when I saw the news breaking yesterday. What went through your mind when you first heard the news?
Yeah, first off, it was great catching up with you guys. Wish it was under better circumstances. But, when we got alerts yesterday morning that he had withdrawn from doing any racing for the weekend because he was in the hospital with an illness, and he had been over the last couple of weeks had battled a sinus infection. I know we were with him at Watkins Glen. He was battling one there. People probably heard the radio conversation he had about requesting the doctor to meet him at his bus afterwards so he can get a shot. I'm sure a lot of that was to relieve some of that pressure, but also, too, to get into an airplane and fly home right afterwards as well. But yeah, it was – so when we got the word about that, it was like, wow, something happened pretty quick because he just raced last weekend at Dover, won the Truck Series race, was in the All-Star race and wrecked out. Yeah, total shock on that. And then yesterday evening, I was here at the radio station doing some work, and my daughter called and told me about it. And I, jumped on social media and checked things out and talked to some folks down in North Carolina and other places as well. And yeah, total shock, total dismay about it. And it's just, this is a guy that has had a storied career from when he first came into the scene at 16 years old. And racing in NASCAR and, coming from Las Vegas and running the bull ring out there and then following the footsteps of his brother Kurt, who's also, a Hall of Famer as well. And, Kyle is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And then just getting the word about it yesterday, total just shock and dismay. And the fact that, you think about it, he lost a great in the motorsports world. And it's just not being felt by the folks in the NASCAR community. This is across the globe. I mean, everything from IndyCar, Formula One drivers, other people are all making comments about it and then shock about it as well, too. And definitely in the motorsports world, lost a big icon and what he has done.
Tell us quickly about his life off the track.
So Kyle is very much a family man. And I got to meet Kyle back when he was 16 coming in. We actually, his first race he was going to do was at the Auto Club Speedway in Southern California, there in Ontario, and was driving for Jack Rouse, following his brother Kurt. And then we got to a track that actually back at that time still had Winston Tobacco Company sponsorship on the track. Well, that prevented him from racing because of that sponsorship. But it got him into the fold, and then he ran a handful of races there, and then as his career evolved, he met Samantha, and, Samantha's been with him for a long, long time. Really kind of grounded him a little bit, but it really kind of brought Kyle to the forefront. We knew he was a talent. We knew he was a guy that was destined to do great things behind the wheel of a race car. But off the track, and Samantha and them and their challenges they had in trying to build a family, which led to their foundation, their Bundle of Joy Foundation that they have when it comes to infertility and, helping folks make families. That kind of, brought him to the forefront as a family man. And Kyle is always, he and I in our conversations, and I think I made a post about this, and the fact that when the microphone went hot, we talked racing. When it wasn't, we were talking life, we're talking family, we're talking kids, because he loved talking about his son Brexton and his development as a driver, and his daughter Lennox, and just being a family man, being a dad. When he sold his race team to Spire Motorsports, who we won with last weekend, that opened the door for him to do more and being a race dad, and him and Brexton racing against each other. And that was the big thing. That was his number one focus, was his family. We always hear the bad boy mentality that he had, and he embraced that. We had Dale Earnhardt for many years, and when you announced Dale Earnhardt's name, they would boo. But they always knew the Intimidator would be present at the track, and we'd make great things happen. Same thing with Kyle. Kyle was booed. He had drivers that didn't like him. He had fans that didn't like him, but you know what? They respected him. And the fact that it evolved over the years now, when Kyle Busch gets introduced, it's a crowd applause. That was the thing the last couple of weeks. So it's away from the racing side of things. He knew what racing did for him. It built him a family. It built him a career, built him financial stability and everything, but it was what he wanted to do with his family and his son. And his ultimate deal was him racing with his son in a truck race. And then after that was probably going to be, kind of, let's start doing some broadcasting and let's go into just being a dad. So away from the track, he was a family man, and that was all about him and building his family with him and Samantha.
Jason Toy, Motor Racing Network. Jason, we appreciate you sharing some thoughts this morning. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. There'll be nothing like him. I tell you what, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer, and hell, I even joked with him at Talladega. We were talking before he qualified. I said, all right, Hall of Famer, what do you got? And then he went and talked about how, and with a big old smile on his face, about racing. So yeah, definitely a huge loss.
Jason Toy, Motor Racing Network. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Radio Network and get informed with the morning news. Veteran anchors Chris Lawrence and Jeff Jenkins bring you the latest headlines from across the state. Follow your favorite sports teams with updates from Daniel Woods. Plus, get the latest entertainment news, weather reports, and daily commentary. The morning news starts weekdays at 6:06 a.m. on your favorite Metro News affiliate and online at wvmetronews.com.
The morning news, the voice of West Virginia.
WVMetroNews.com, the only website you need to stay informed in the Mountain State. Get the latest news and sports stories, information on the great outdoors, and never miss an episode of your favorite Metro News programs and podcasts, including Talkline, Metro News Midday, Hotline, Sportsline, Three Guys Before the Game, and more. Make a bookmark now and visit WVMetroNews.com first thing every morning to find out what's happening all across the state. WVMetroNews.com.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this or what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you're just getting me fired up. Now
Right.
you just
Okay, so I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
News in the Mountain State happens quick.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selengo Law. Get results, not excuses.
I'll be still watching for some likely off and on rain potential and chances of thunderstorms in the state. 5-day precipitation graphic there, blues and purples, that's 1 to 2+ inches of rain with locally higher amounts that are still going to be a possibility. We also have some risks of excessive rain. If you're in western and northern areas of the state, we are included a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain. That's for flash flood potential that exists today and tonight. Flood watches are out from some nearby Weather Service offices, include the Parkersburg, Huntington areas, among others. So a lot of these out until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so all day today until tomorrow morning. Flash flooding possible because of excessive rain. Never drive through any flooded areas if they pop up for you. 67 for a high yesterday in Charleston, 10 below average. Some rain is already likely on the radar this morning. We're going to see an area of low pressure push north with a warm front, so some increasing moisture here. And I'll be timing some chances and likely chances of rain for the next 7 days. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Orlando 91, Tampa heating up near the mid-90s again today. And western areas of Florida, potentially some heavy rain with daily thunderstorm chances out there. Northern areas from Panhandle to Panhandle, highs in the 60s. Rain likely, chance of thunderstorms. Just have to wait until the moisture arrives. Rain chances tonight with that chance of thunderstorms. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms. Highs around 60, some 50s as well. Lows around the ranks of the mid to upper 40s. From east to west, 50s and 60s out east, more 70s out west with that risk of heavy to excessive rain today and tonight. Up to a slight risk of excessive rainfall exists, and southern areas watching for some heavy and excessive rain as well, favoring western areas near 61 in Huntington tonight. Charleston, we have generally chances to likely chances of rain each day for the next 7 days. Some warmer temps on the way as well, 86 on Sunday and near 81 on Memorial Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline. Getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. I should have asked this yesterday, and I didn't. How many of you are extending the already extended weekend? Chances are, TJ, if you've extended the weekend already, you might be taking a break today. And I understand. That's okay. But good on you if you can extend an already extended weekend. Hello, TJ.
Hello. Tough for golf this morning, at least in my neck of the woods.
There was a texter did you see the text earlier?
I'm due to the setup today, I'm really not watching the texts.
Let me see if I can find it. A texter opined that if it was nicer out, you'd have been taking PTO. You wouldn't be in the bunker. You'd be taking PTO to hit the golf course. The text has disappeared, but that was the gist of the idea.
Well, be a good thing for my mental health, I think.
Well, because of the setup, Chris Stirewalt, can you hear us?
Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, we can hear him. I'm not sure if he can hear us.
There
or
it
not.
is.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm glad I wasn't cussing.
So are we, Chris. So are we. It's a wonky setup today. Don't worry about it. It has nothing to do with you.
We don't want to be. I don't want to get you all delicensed. I don't want you to have to go pirate radio up there. That's not what we need.
It would be kind of. Would it be ironic if I would have to hit the 8-second delay on you? I'd have to dump you today, Chris.
It is Steam Release Friday.
That's true.
It is Steam Release Friday, so there is that. I'm ready. I'm ready to tell you what grinds my gears.
Well, go right ahead. What?
No.
Family Guy reference. I hope that was a Family Guy reference.
My gears are well greased. I'm tranquil, feeling good.
Well, where do we start? Ballrooms, weaponization funds, Blue MAGA. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to start today, Chris?
Well, look, this was a significant week when a good way to be a journalist, you talk about the first draft of history, and it's very helpful to think about what are things that we will talk about a year from now, versus things that will fade. And of course, you don't know at the time because you don't know what's what. But I do think this has been a significant week, right? This has been in the America's political evolution. I think this has been a significant week, and I think this was the week where the president reached the apex of his power within the Republican Party. It cost a lot of money and it took a lot of time, but he whooped Thomas Massey out in Kentucky, and the sort of we'll call it Trumpless MAGA or America First or whatever that is. They put everything into it, and the AIPAC and every other entity that is part of the Trump coalition put everything in they could, and they won, right? $40 million to win a House seat in Covington, Kentucky is something, right? Like, no offense to Covington, you guys are great, but no, this was obviously far more and far bigger than one House race. So he did that. Bill Cassidy got drubbed down in Louisiana. He finished third. Didn't even make the runoff. And then the president made his pick in Texas and said that he was going to pick the likely winner, Ken Paxton, down there. So this is in many ways, the zenith of Donald Trump's power within his party. But then, of course, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, which is that Senate Republicans and many House Republicans thought that they were in a long-running negotiation with the president in which they would give him many of the things that he wanted, almost all of the things that he wanted, and then he would help them keep their jobs, right? And Trump, who we are told by the Wall Street Journal and others, had a truth ready to go back in March to back John Cornyn and do it, and then he didn't, and he waited, and then he backed Paxton. And if you're a Republican senator, you already spent $100 million to try to not spend $300 million in the general election in Texas, but now you're going to have to spend all that. You're going to have to spend all you got. Republicans have a substantial cash advantage, but not in Texas, right? James Tallarico is Beto O'Rourkeing his way to a massive cash advantage. So the Republicans are going to have to take resources from other races. They're going to have to send them down to Texas because James Tallarico is 6 or 8 points better off than Beto O'Rourke was in 2018. And Ken Paxton is a weaker, presuming that he wins, which I don't think the president was going to endorse him if he wasn't going to win. He is a substantially worse candidate than Ted Cruz was. I don't know that Tallarico is a better candidate than Beto O'Rourke was, but the climate is very rough for Republicans this year. So there's that frustration. There's the Cassidy frustration. There's all of this stuff. And then when you put on top of that, the president says, and I want $1 billion for ballroom security. The president says, I want to have this fund to pay my people. I think what you saw this week from Senate Republicans and House Republicans, to be fair, because what the precipitating event this week was, the Senate had already passed a war powers resolution on Iran. And because Cassidy is now unencumbered, it's like, yeah, I'm with you. And so the Senate passes it, and basically Mike Johnson had to pull the fire alarm in the House and send everybody home because they were going to lose in the House too. The Senate's going to strip out the ballroom money. The Senate is going to try to kill, and I suspect will ultimately succeed in killing this $1.8 billion Trump fund. And so I think what you saw this week was congressional Republicans say, if you're not going to honor our deal, we're not going to honor our deal either.
So, Chris, do you think they finally, being Congress, you think they finally found a spine and they will actually stand up when they come back on June the 1st and deny the slush fund?
I think the unpopularity of that fund, it could be saved. So they did a briefing. The acting attorney general came and did a briefing. 25 Republican senators came and hectored him. Is there some version of this that could get through? I don't know, but not one that's one of the things that is really up the senators' noses about this is it's secret.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't like, yes, you file a claim, it's reviewed, we see who you are. You apply in secret and you're supposed to be paid in secret. And that's not going to work. And so is there a version of this that could get authorization? Is the da-da-da? But basically, if you think about it this way, the Republicans had found a way out, which was they ended the shutdown for the Department of Homeland Security. And then they pulled out this money for Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Patrol. And they put it in this separate vehicle, this reconciliation package that just needs 51 votes in the Senate. And if they were going to keep it clean and just do that, they were not going to have another ICE shutdown for the rest of Trump's presidency, which Democrats, whether Democrats have a magnificent midterm or a fizzle, was going to happen. And they were going to take that off the table, which is what they all want for the rest of Trump's term. So they had a way to do it. And right at the end, as they were, if you would have asked Republicans 3 weeks ago, they would have said, yeah, we're going to go home for Memorial Day, and that's going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have to think about that. We're not going to have to talk about that anymore. And the leverage and shutdown fights that will happen this fall and in the future, Republicans are going to have a huge advantage. And now if they bring that to the floor and they start letting amendments come, you think about it this way. John Cornyn, probably as of Wednesday morning, Tom Tillis, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. The Republicans can only ever afford to lose 3.
Yeah.
And the number of people who either are unbound by primary voters now, and by the way, that doesn't just include the people who are not running. It includes every week that the calendar turns, another batch of Republicans in Congress don't have to worry about primaries anymore, and they become freer. So by the time you get into the summer, almost everybody's done. And
so by happenstance, they can vote their convictions. Man, that makes me feel good.
Well, look, yes, it is true, but also this is the world we live in. Right? The world we live in is, and we've talked before about the problems with our primary election system, but the world we live in is one in which if you can get 51% of 11% of the electorate, you have a lot of power. And no one in the Senate invented that system. It is the world that they live in. And those are the incentives that they have. They're miserable incentives. They're bad incentives. They produce bad governance, but like this is, I guess I would just say, hate the game, don't hate the player.
Chris Stirewalt joining us this morning, politics editor for the Hill News Nation, host of the Hill Sunday on News Nation, senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. If Trump is at his zenith now, has reached the zenith, how long does he stay on the top of the mountain, Chris, once you reach the zenith, eventually there is a decline. So how long does he stay at this pinnacle of power, if you will?
Well, Donald Trump, you've heard me say it before, Donald Trump is like the children of Israel, which is he will wander, he will worship the golden calf, he will do all the things he's not supposed to do until the wrath comes down. And then sometimes he can be made to be willing to be willing. And I think right now there are a lot of people in the White House who say, we don't care. We don't care. Yeah, we're going to lose midterms. So what? But that's the thing, is then you actually have to do it. It's one thing to say that you don't care, but man, it's another thing to have to do it. And the prospects of the next 2 years are pretty grueling, and the lame duckitude. I've been thinking about, as I often do, Mike Pence. I've been thinking about Mike Pence a lot lately, only because one of the ways that Trump experienced the successes of his first term pre-COVID was that Mike Pence and his team had a seat on the table, and they were there to bring word from and to Congress, because Mike Pence was well thought of by his fellow Republicans in Congress, and he had a seat at the table, so that when things like, hey, let's drop this fund this week, hey, let's do that, that there was somebody in the room that could say, I don't know. And I don't think there is anybody like that in this administration now. I think that they're on send, but they don't have a receive function. They're just broadcasting. And if what we expect to happen in the fall does happen in the fall, and the Republicans get their clocks cleaned, I think that a new willingness to listen may come to the administration, because they will need a lot more help from Congress in the second half. And it's hard to be a lame duck.
Let me put this out on the stoop, see if the cat licks it up. I think there is one person that could potentially control Trump. That's Melania.
No.
And she's not going to do it, because her brand is her brand. And why would you risk that? I mean, she stepped to the podium, a couple months back, and that
say what?
really stirred Washington. Well, she hasn't said it yet. That's what I'm thinking. What does she still have? I mean, she stepped out in front, came out, did that presser. It was unknown to the White House.
About what? What did she say?
Well, I got nothing to do with the Epstein files, is what she was saying.
So they very clearly they operate in different lanes, and they don't mix their business. And what I saw there was his business was getting in her business, and she went out and fired a shot across the bow and was like, no, if you got a problem with this stuff over here with Pam Bondi and whatever, you keep it over there. Don't bring it over here.
So she's not going to wade into the water.
No, and also I guess maybe it goes like this. Second-term presidents are typically frustrated people. They're typically annoyed by, if we think about Obama, we think about Clinton, we think certainly about George W. Bush. Second terms are hard, right? And Trump's was interrupted, but I mean, I think almost everybody's already forgotten about Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden has receded into the wallpaper. And did you all see his son go on Candace Owens' podcast?
No.
Yeah. How's it going for Hunter Biden? I'll tell you how it's going for Hunter Biden. He's doing Candace Owens' podcast and saying she makes some good points. I don't know whether they were good points about the genitalia of the French first lady or whatever, but it was like, okay, so you haven't had a great post-presidency, Hunter. Okay, that's cool. But I think this era will be defined as the Trump era. If we're back to history will look at the period from 2015 to 2028, at least, as the Trump era in American history. And the last furlong is going to be tough. He's old. People are worn out, and it's going to be the sledding is rough for every second-term president, and it's going to be rough for Trump, and that would be normal.
He's Chris Stirewalt, politics editor for The Hill and News Nation, host of The Hill Sunday on News Nation, senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. Chris, always appreciate it. Have a nice Memorial Day weekend, buddy.
Let's go Mountaineers.
Coming up, steam release, a mere matter of moments away. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK, 304. That is the text line. The WVU Cancer Institute is transforming cancer care in West Virginia and beyond. The state's top doctors deliver compassionate care and treatment using leading-edge technology and innovative research for patients facing colorectal cancer. From screening and early detection to advanced treatment and survivorship support, we're here for you every step of the way. Call 855-WVU-CARE. We're back in a moment.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Someday, boat weather will arrive. Not going to be this weekend, but someday it'll be here. So get ready now with great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory over at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Big 12 baseball tournament continues. Mountaineers knocked off Kansas State yesterday 4-2. And let's see, they'll take on Arizona State tonight. That tournament, TJ's in Surprise. I think it's called Surprise, Arizona. And anyway, it is going to be a late night if you want to stay up and watch the Mountaineers tonight. They're the second game out in Arizona. So I think it's an 11 Eastern, 10 or 11 Eastern first pitch here. So get your nap in today and get ready if you want to stay up to watch Mountaineer baseball in the semifinals of the conference tournament out there in Arizona.
I'm a proud alum. I root for the Mountaineers, but my bedtime is around 9 o'clock. I don't know if that's going to work for me or not.
And they got I heard them talking on the ESPN broadcast last night. Very good chance of hosting a regional here at Kendrick Family Ballpark in town in a couple of weeks. Or, well, not a couple of weeks. It'd be great. It was a great atmosphere. Was it 17? My apologies. I think it was 17. Maybe not. Maybe. Has it been since then? Kyle, help me out somewhere. But when they hosted those regional games of the NCAA tournament several years ago, great atmosphere. Ballpark was sold out. The hillside was full. People were up in the parking lot at the WVU Medical Center that's on top of the hill up there, the facility. Great atmosphere. Looking forward to it.
Blanket, hillside, great way to watch a baseball game.
Absolutely. Steam release coming up next. It is all yours for the rest of the program. You don't want to take any build-up tension or anxiety into the Memorial Day weekend. This is why we offer you this opportunity. Release your steam. There are multiple ways to do it. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. We will have that for you. You can always give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Steam release coming up when we return. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selango Law. Get results, not excuses.
I'll be still watching for some likely off and on rain potential and chances of thunderstorms in the state. 5-day precipitation graphic there, blues and purples. That's 1 to 2+ inches of rain with locally higher amounts that are still going to be a possibility. We also have some risks of excessive rain. If you're in western and northern areas of the state, we are included a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain. That's for flash flood potential that exists today and tonight. Flood watches are out from some nearby Weather Service offices, include the Parkersburg, Huntington areas, among others. So a lot of these out until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so all day today until tomorrow morning. Flash flooding possible because of excessive rain. Never drive through any flooded areas if they pop up for you. 67 for a high yesterday in Charleston, 10 below average. Some rain is already likely on the radar this morning. We're going to see an area of low pressure push north with a warm front, so some increasing moisture here. And I'll be timing some chances and likely chances of rain for the next 7 days. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Orlando 91, Tampa heating up near the mid-90s again today. And western areas of Florida, potentially some heavy rain with daily thunderstorm chances out there. Northern areas from Panhandle to Panhandle, highs in the 60s. Rain likely, chance of thunderstorms. Just have to wait until the moisture arrives. Rain chances tonight with that chance of thunderstorms. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms. Highs around 60, some 50s as well. Lows around the ranks of the mid to upper 40s. From east to west, 50s and 60s out east, more 70s out west with that risk of heavy to excessive rain today and tonight. Up to a slight risk of excessive rainfall exists, and southern areas watching for some heavy and excessive rain as well, favoring western areas near 61 in Huntington tonight. Charleston, we have generally chances to likely chances of rain each day for the next 7 days. Some warmer temps on the way as well, 86 on Sunday and near 81 on Memorial Day.
This is Ben Selango with Selango Law. Selango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Selango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Selango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at selangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. The Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
I have stuff. I'll play that.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. They are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $131 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $296 million. So go ahead, play today.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get
Approach
up
your
right
retirement
now
with
and
confidence.
Go to the window,
with over 100.
Open it and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's right. All week long, you've listened to TJ and me, and you've probably been irritated. It's understandable. You don't want to take that irritation into the Memorial Day weekend. This is your opportunity to vent unfettered. Get off all of that anxiety. Get it off your back. Go into the weekend feeling good. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. You can text your steam to 304-TALK-304. Now, just a couple of guidelines to keep in mind. Number one, first and foremost, the most important, please do not get us fired or sued. Those kind of things go hand in hand. We like our jobs. We'd like to come back next week. Secondly, keep them tight. We'll get to as many of them as possible. You may steam about whatever it is you want to steam about, including past, current, and future hosts. We may not respond. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 304-TALK-304 is the text line. We will begin on the phones. Eric, you are batting leadoff on steam release. What do you got, Eric?
Thank you. The latest move by the so-called Justice Department to give immunity forever to any and all illegal actions by the Trump crime family is unbelievable. This level of corruption was never imagined by any former president. How could America sink this low? Thank you.
You are welcome, Eric. Let's go to Paul from Pocahontas County. Hey, Paul.
Morning, fellas. A double bookmark steam here. On Monday, you guys, your show did a really good report on 4 siblings that were involved in naval aviation, and did my heart good to hear it as a combat wounded vet. And right after that piece, the Chipmunk governor, who I unfortunately voted for, came on to pat himself on the back for some recent economic success news he wanted to give. But prior to that, he was made aware of that previous piece, and he didn't bother to say one word about those young people. He just jumped right into his sales pitch, and I found that disgusting. And it seems that the format of the show, ever since that Democrat lawyer Salango has decided to fund a bunch of stuff, has definitely changed as far as the political bent, and that doesn't sit well. I was hoping today there'd be something about actual memorial instead of talking about holidays, and instead we got more Democrat propaganda with Chrissy. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
You too, Paul. I appreciate the call. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK-304. Let's go out to Fish Creek. Hey, Junior. Junior, you there?
Good morning, Good morning, TJ, another guy.
Morning, Junior.
You there?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey,
what do you got?
There?
What do you got?
All right. Hey, Gordon. Hey, I'm doing good. Gordon's doing good, but I had a couple groundhogs. They were kind of infiltrating, but that's okay. They died of lead poisoning. You know what I mean? Anyway, I tell you what, that Sophia, she has an angelic voice. When she answers that phone, my gosh, it just makes my day when I hear her voice.
Junior.
And get this one. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done.
No, I was listening to old Howie Monroe yesterday. I thought he had the big one on there. You ought to heard him hack it. I could have swore he hacked up a lung. I mean, it was scary. It went dead air for about a minute, you know. I don't know. TJ, we need a new host in Wheeling. You feel like moving north? We could use you. So remember, Hoppy, Howie, hang it up. Goodbye, boys.
Junior, have a great weekend. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Phone lines couple of them just cleared. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Let's check the text line at 304-TALK-304. Text teams, TJ.
Texter says, all week long, we listen to you? Presumptuous for sure.
Okay, that's
when
fair.
is Barack... yeah, it is. When is Barack Hussein Obama going to jail for sicking the IRS on Tea Party members? Listening to you all week is enough to get anybody steamed, says this texter. 304-TALK-304. Just go ahead and read this because it's useless to say what your steam is because halfway through, you don't want to read it. Verizon bought Frontier without any notice. My landline was raised 25%. Kept me on hold for 45 minutes. No senior citizen discount, no veterans discount, 35-year customer, no respect. R to them, according to this texter. Steam, we have went all week without one single Yo Mama joke. You know something like, Yo Mama reared you so poorly that you couldn't even move into a dismal state and pull together your political party. So now instead of focusing on issues, everyone is focusing on the idiotic infighting. 304-TALK-304. Dave and TJ. John Adams was a Christian. Today, morality has its own definition, depending on who you talk to concerning their perception of it. I can't live that out. Getting my own version of the truth without the standard of Jesus Christ. Jesus had to die for me so I could be with him. Now I live for him, says the texter. When Bill Clinton was chasing skirts, we had a federal budget surplus of $128 billion. Maybe we need a younger president who has his or her mind on things other than retribution for perceived affronts. This texter weighing in saying, no, the Slovenian... I'm not saying that. I'm not calling a lady that. Sorry. Steam release per TJ's commentary at the Tuesday Bruce Springsteen concert at PPG Arena in Pittsburgh. He had this to say, quote, honesty, honor, humility, truth, compassion, humanity, thoughtfulness, morality, true strength, and decency. Don't let anyone tell you these things don't matter anymore. They do. Truth still matters. Happy Memorial Day to all, and take stock of what this day is all about. After November's election, the West Virginia Senate will be 35 Republicans and 1 Democrat. Progressive dope promoter Sean Fluharty is going down. 304-TALK. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, TJ. 304-TALK-304. That's the text line, 800-765-TALK. The phone number. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door, and now is the perfect time to connect. More rural communities have access to true high-speed internet, free equipment, free installation, no contract, plus local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. 800-765-TALK's the phone number. To release your steam, you can text your steam to 304-TALK-304. Steam release rolls on in a moment.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
The challenges facing today's workforce are real. Rapid change, new technology, and a growing skills gap. But there's a solution. WVU Parkersburg is partnering with local businesses to deliver customized training programs built around your needs. From advanced manufacturing and healthcare to emerging technologies and certifications, we help your team gain the skills to stay competitive. Businesses across our region are already making it happen. Visit wvup.edu and start building a future-ready workforce today.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All-new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All-new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Steam release continues. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text your Steam to 304-TALK, 304. We'll get some more text Steams in a moment. Back to the phones we go. Up to the Northern Outpost. And Bill, you're on Steam release, Bill. Go ahead.
Sophia's fan club is growing. It won't be long before she'll have more followers than Ethan. That'd be really cool.
I would hope so. Go on, Bill.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, this is kind of a calm one. You know, I'm kind of getting ready for the Memorial Day weekend. And back when my parents were in their 20s, 30s, before World War II, they called them victory gardens. So it's time to plant the garden. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend. Put my small garden in and put some natural and pesticides like my marigolds. And I got petunias this year, red, white, and blue colored for the 250th celebration of America for this summer. And then my son-in-law always talk on Veterans Day. He's a vet, I'm a vet. So we talk on veterans, which many people should do. And Tuesday, just for you, TJ, Tuesday, the Senior Citizens Golf Group that I'm with, the Snowbirds are coming back.
Nice.
Tuesday, inaugural day, Tuesday, for me, golfing, TJ. Have a nice weekend.
You too, Bill. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK, 304. Let's go to George. What's your Steam, George?
I give a big thumbs down to the TV network, the game show network, for taking the Millionaire Show off the air. It was only on just occasionally, And it's the one show where you can actually learn something if you play along with it. And you can even see the captions there with the questions, so it's the easiest thing to follow compared to Jeopardy, for instance, if you don't hear all that well. Shame on them for taking that off.
George, have a good weekend. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. You can text your team to 304-TALK-304. Speaking of which, let's get some more of those text teams in.
Fishing licenses are just too expensive. I don't mind buying one for myself, but for your whole family, it's too much. Think about it. A family of 4, it's $112 before you can make a single cast. Not cool. 304-TALK-304. Dave and TJ, I thank God every day that President Trump is in the White House. Best president I have seen in my lifetime, period. I'm confused. Why are we giving money to Antifa? Weren't they the ones that stormed the Capitol? Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Nope, not doing that. Producer Ethan owns no less than 12 pairs of tearaway sweatpants. Thank you for your time. Word is, Springsteen is working on a song about the Canadian visitor the police picked up in Grafton this week. I have to get up to speed on that. All this rain should make for a good data center crop come fall, says the texter. If I would attack a policeman or trash the Capitol, I would be in jail. So how is it right to pardon those criminals, then pay for them for the inconvenience of jail? What is wrong with Donald J. Trump? I'm steamed that West Virginia hasn't redistricted yet. Haven't we learned from Virginia's governor that we have too many Democrats? Steam from the ridiculous to the ludicrous. Using $1,776 million is a sick mockery of our heritage, and one of our U.S. citizens paying huge gas, food, and other energy increases, while simultaneously intending to use the money to reward the January 6 rioters who discredited our nation's Capitol building on January 6th. I think they meant 1.776 billion. I think Siri got them there. Yo mama's so dumb, she thinks suspending the gas tax means no Taco Bell for a week. Okay.
That's not bad.
What's that?
So that's not bad.
Oh, yeah. Kind of don't know where to go after that. Heck, let's make Yo Mama jokes the theme of Steam release today. Yo Mama's so fat, when she fell on the sidewalk, I didn't laugh. I'm a man of respect and integrity, but the sidewalk cracked up. 304. Go ahead. I've lost control. Go ahead.
800-765-TALK, 304-TALK-304. Let us take a break. We'll be back in a moment. We'll get to Theodore, Mike, and more of your text. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK-304. That's the phone number. That's the text line. Steam release continues.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life.
never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Stay ahead of West Virginia weather with Metro News Television. Now bringing you a new way to stay informed across the Mountain State. Get updates daily at 9, noon, and 4. From headlines and precipitation to severe weather threats and highs and lows. See conditions from panhandle to panhandle and check travel with the Fly CRW forecast. Our meteorologists are on your screens and on Talkline, Midday, Hotline, and Sportsline. Keeping you up to date. Metro News Television weather. Accurate, local, and always on.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Time is what I'm indicating. Keep it tight. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK, 304. Let's go to Wheeling. Theodore, what's on your mind?
Hello, TJ, another guy. This is Theodore Monroe of the Monroe Royals here in Ohio County. And I just wanted to say, you probably know my granddaddy, Howard Monroe. But, the one that's not running the half marathon tomorrow. You know what? I graduated the 5th grade from the Lindsley School yesterday, and you didn't. Ha, 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 ha.
Thank you, Theodore. Let's go to Mike. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to pee listening to this stuff. But I have to give kudos to the no gas tax guy, because that was good. But hey, being a resident of Ohio County and a councilman here in the fine town of Triadelphia, I'm sure everyone's aware of the devastating flood we went through last June. And everyone in this area seems to be high on Miss Laura Wakeham Chapman, that not once came and visited the town of Triadelphia during our devastation. But Senator Weld came at least 4 times to visit us. So I don't know why people are so high on her, because she should have at least showed a little bit of respect to us. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Mike, you are welcome. Jim, keep it quick. Go ahead, Jim.
Since Hobby's retired, he's come back on the radio on Thursday several times,
and all he does is pound on Trump every time. You know, Iran did a lot of things, and their proxies did a lot of things, and they killed American troops, but that wasn't enough to do anything about it.
Jim, appreciate it. I like the brevity there. Thank you very much. Got $10? Then you've got a shot at $50,000. Grab the new scratch-off Lion's Share, where your ticket could be a big-time win. And watch for that 5 times multiplier, because your prize could be 5 times sweeter. Get your chance to win the Lion's Share of the prize at a West Virginia lottery retailer. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. You got a couple of quick texts there, TJ? We got about 40 seconds.
All right, let me find one here. Too bad these people don't know who is to receive payment for January the 6th. They were those who only attended and were observing that ended in jail. One older lady, even in solitary confinement, and there were many more. They were not allowed to make calls or attorney privileges. Your mama's so dumb she voted Democrat while wearing a donkey suit and holding a re-elect Bernie and Barney sign up. Sanders and Frank. There you go, Dave.
Thank you very much for your undivided attention throughout the week. Have a great Memorial Day. Thank you to everyone who has served this great country and allow us to do what we do. Indeed. Best of show on Monday. We'll talk to you Tuesday morning at 10:06. For TJ, Zach, and Sophia, I'm Dave. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.